Thank you.
At the business summit that you referred to earlier on January 28th, two business leaders, Corey Clemenson and Greg Lee, discussed the core industries in Mesquite of golf and gaming. What do you think are the core industries in the Mesquite, and what would you recommend the city do or not do about them?
About them?
Core industries.
Well, we do have, of course, two major core industries, which are golf and gaming. I think there's a third one that that you could squeeze into that group. If you squeeze pretty hard, but in my mind, you can squeeze them in there. And that's our retired people who live here. I think that's a core industry here. Those are the people who have a lot of intelligence that they've brought into the town. And I think that they're the ones who purchase things, they're the ones who make a difference. We have a really high level of retired people here in Mesquite, and I think that that's a source that we can tap into by getting them involved. And I really do believe that that's an industry.
Okay.
Another business question for you. Give us your thoughts about how you think the redevelopment agency, the RDA, funds that are remaining should be spent or should be used.
I assume you're talking about the downtown RDA funds.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I think there are two different funds, and this one's downtown. I think they need to be spent to make our town better looking, to simplify things. I'm not saying that those monies should be spent to go and work on property that's privately owned, but I would like to see them spent to find out how we can get the people in the really horrid looking, the people who own the horrible looking homes that are falling down and are vacant and are, I think, probably on the verge of being dangerous if they're not already. The looks of our downtown really leave something to be desired. Now we have a beautiful city hall, we have a beautiful art gallery sitting there, and 2 blocks in either direction you have empty fronts. And empty fronts aren't nearly as bad as the ones that are boarded up. And you know, the ones that are boarded up, there has to be a way of helping or encouraging those people to do what's necessary to make it look good. And I would like to spend some of that money to figure out how to make those things look better. Not really in favor of spending RDA money to do the job of beautifying downtown, but I'm in favor of using some of it, if possible. It might be something I don't know anything about, but if we could spend some of that money to find out what we can do, legally or otherwise, to get some of those people in those vacant places to clean up their act. When I was on the Board of Adjustments in Salt Lake City, it was one of the kinds of things that we did. We had laws like everybody else does, ordinances that said if your property is not looking proper, something was done about it. I don't know whether we have the personnel to do that or not, but I think that they can start being fined. Maybe.
Okay.
Downtown, that's it.
Thank
you. You kind of touched on the next question about you know, what can be done to improve the downtown district. So I'm going to kind of move on to the next question. She kind of combined those two for us. That's fine. Give us your thoughts about the proposed Pilot Flying J project, not necessarily that particular project, but ones like it, in terms of balancing the business concerns with the public concerns in terms of economic development. You can talk about the pilot, you know, your thoughts about the particular Pilot Flying J project that was ultimately canceled. But what we're concerned with is balancing the business concerns with the public concerns, the residents' concerns, because that was one of the controversies with that particular project, but there's others like it in our past and certainly going to be in our future. So the balancing act that you as a potential council member would have to do.
Okay. I don't think that it's up to government to tell people how to run their businesses. I don't think it's up to government to tell a business wanting to come into town where they should locate their business, and I believe that's why we lost that opportunity. And I did consider it an opportunity for growth in Mesquite. I know there were some problems. I know there were two sides to the question, but I also kind of kept an eye on the newspaper, which took a poll, and the majority of the people were for bringing it in. I believe in looking at what the people really want, and I believe that the majority of people in Mesquite wanted that business to come in. When I looked at the area, like I used to have to do when I was on the Board of Adjustments, I went over and looked at it, and it looked to me like a dang good spot. Everybody saw it coming and going. There are no homes near around it to bother. And some of the objections I got were like, well, I have a teenage driver. I'm like, personal problem, not, you know. So, you know, but it didn't seem to me, honest to goodness, if I weighed that thing, oh, and my husband brought up an issue to me too, because another one where we disagreed on it, and we chat about city all the time. He said, well, you know, that underpass that they're going to have to be coming and going under is small. And I said, well, you know, let's build it first, and then if we have a problem, we'll fix the problem. But let's not burn the project before we even have a chance to get it up and running.
Mm-hmm. Okay.